Today, I want to talk about 12 rules. These are my 12 rules that I think everyone needs to know, everyone needs to learn. The younger, the sooner, the better. And so let's just get right into them, okay? The first one is debt is a silent prison, okay? If you are in debt, credit card debt, car loan debt, student loan debt, medical debt, you are going to have a hard time winning at this game of money and finance. And you just have to know, if we can get those consumer debts gone, so instead of paying somebody else, you can take that money and then save it and invest it and earn money for you, you are going to be so shocked at how quickly this money will build up and you'll win. So debt is a silent prison. It's got to go. Rule 2, always live below your means. So you've got to know what's coming in. You got to know what's going out. And as long as you're saving and investing off the top and living on the rest, and when I say living on the rest, meaning not $1 more. So if you had a $100,000 salary, you're pulling that 20 grand off the top for saving and investing, and you lived on the 80, not 80,001, not 80,002, just lived on the 80 and never went into debt past there, you will win and you'll be so far ahead financially compared to most people, you won't even believe it. So always live below your means. Rule number 2. Third one is an emergency fund is non-negotiable. Now, how big an emergency fund, how much money you need to put in an emergency fund is completely up to you. I think the minimum is 3 months, but for many people, having 6 or 9 or even 12 is better. For someone like me, I have 12. I am a real estate agent by trade. That's what my day job is. And because my income is very all over the board, 1 month I make a lot, 1 month I might not make as much, and I definitely don't get paid every other Friday. So for me, it makes me sleep well at night. I'm probably a little on the extreme side, but I like to have a 12-month reserve of funds. And of course, my money is saved and invested somewhere, so I'm earning more than the nothing % interest you'll earn at a big bank. So just know, I'm trying to keep up with inflation and make money on that money, but at the same time, you've got to have an emergency fund, whatever your amount is that you feel comfortable with. But minimum 3 months. Rule number 4, invest early and often and not when you're ready. The whole when you're ready thing is never going to happen. It's no different than we talked about when I was super young about having kids. And you think, oh, I want to be financially secure before I have kids. Well, in your 20s, you're not going to be financially secure, or very few people are going to be. So invest early, invest often. And if you don't believe me, go look at an investment calculator and watch what happens if you start at 20 versus 30 versus 40 versus 50. It is a massive difference. I've been teaching my kids, they're both in their 20s, this along teaching it to their friends. And so start early, start often, and go from there. Number 5, okay? Renting peace is better than buying stress. What does that mean? I'm a real estate agent, and I want people to buy and sell real estate. I think it's a great long-term wealth building strategy. But for many people, and the ones I want watching these videos are you guys in your 20s and 30s, especially you young fellas. And here's the thing. Sometimes renting in the short term is better. Okay? I would never say renting is a bad idea and you should never rent. There are times in your life where renting makes sense. Just not for the next 60 years or 50 years. It doesn't make sense to do that. But in the short term, renting is better. So if renting gives you peace because it works into your financial picture for now, then just rent, do that, and don't worry about buying in the long term for now, okay? Number 6, you have to save and invest first and then spend whatever's left over. I already mentioned that one. It kind of goes into my emergency fund or invest early one, but investing and savings kind of go together. So maybe this is really one rule instead of 2 separate rules, but you got to save and invest first off the top and then do what's left after that, okay? Number 7, cars are money pits. The average car payment in America today, I think the last I saw was like $750. And if you were able to save and invest $750 a month and not have a car payment, your jaw will drop on how much money you will have in the long term. So even someone like myself, I have a car of my girlfriend's house that's literally a 20-year-old Lexus that has been passed around my family for years because I don't drive it very much up there. And then here in Reno where I live, I have a 2014 Mercedes that I haven't made a car payment on because I bought it, I think it was 3-4 years old when I bought it. And I haven't made a car payment in 10 years. And my car's been really reliable, really good. Obviously, it's got a little higher maintenance cost than maybe some other vehicles have. But the fact that I have no car payment for a decade has allowed me to save and invest and do some of those things and keep my budget in order. So just know, cars are money pits. Be very careful with those cars. I did a video specifically about someone I know that rented a car or leased a car versus bought a car. My daughter bought her car. The payment, it was crazy. So we'll link that video so you can go check that one out. Number 8 is budgeting is freedom. It's not restriction. And every time I do videos specifically about budgeting, they don't get seen a lot. People don't want to hear and watch them a lot. People hate the word budgeting. But here's the thing. If you just do it for a little while, 3 months, 6 months, and you understand your numbers and what's coming in and coming out, you won't have to be paying attention to every single nickel and every single dime every day. I sure don't have to do that anymore. But at the beginning, it is one of the things you absolutely have to do. So just think of it as creating financial freedom long-term for yourself and not this restrictive, handcuffed, oh my God, what am I going to do? Just don't worry about it that way, okay? Inflation is a silent thief. So if we have money just sitting around in a bank earning 0.001% interest, guess what? Every day is becoming less and less and less valuable. It won't buy you as much in the future. So you've got to, at minimum, get those savings and investing into at least a high yield savings account that's earning hopefully 4% or more. You might have to put it in a money market account. If you got some funds you could tie for even longer that you want to do conservative things with, get it into a certificate of deposit at a bank and you can earn a little bit more that way. Just know inflation, your $100 today is going to be worth less 5 and 10 and 15 years down the road. So you got to be careful with that one. Number 10, marriage and money go hand in hand. It doesn't necessarily even need to be marriage. Any relationship where you share money with another person, whether you actually are married or not, is super, super important, because if you are not on the same page financially, you are going to have problems down the road. You've got to be on the same page with whoever you share money with. Doesn't matter who's earning it. Doesn't matter who's spending it. Doesn't matter any of it. You got to be on the same page so that you can then long-term win at this game. And it's one of the most important things. And honestly, it's one of the ways I was able to financially get myself set up over many, many years. I am no longer married at this point, but all the time when we were, financially, we were on the same page and we did some great things, even, where it wasn't always positive, it wasn't always negative, but long-term it was a good winning strategy. Number 11, wealth is built slowly over the long term, not instantly. So I get lots of questions all the time about crypto and gold and this business scheme and that business scheme and how can I make lots and lots of money in a really short amount of time. Here's what I would tell you for those type of things. If you do the smart, steady, fundamental things first, and like I always talk about the 50-30-20 budget, which means we're pulling 20% off the top for savings and investing. So if you're pulling the 20% off to do the saving and investing and doing the smart, slow, steady things, and then of the 80% left over, that 50-30 part of your budget, you want to say, I'm going to live on 75% of that budget, and I'm going to take 5%, and I'm going to go try to hit a home run. By all means, go try to hit a home run. And if you hit a home run, awesome and amazing for you. But if you don't, what you don't want to do is have it ruin your entire financial picture. You only want to just say, well, that money was a little bit like gambling to me. I was willing to lose it. And it's no different than if you're a sports bettor or gambling in a casino or anything, taking a high risk on a business venture that maybe you thought you were going to get into. Great. At least you did all the smart, slow, steady things and took your shot. I'm not saying don't take your shot. I'm just saying guaranteed getting wealthy is built on the slow and steady fundamental things. I know because I've done it. I did it once and went broke. Then I did it a second time because the Great Recession kicked my ass. And you can see the video I did about being $750,000 in debt. That's because we owned a company and a business and everything just went miserable. If you weren't around in 07, 08, 09, or didn't have money and finances back in those days because you were too young, go look it up. It was a disaster. But doing the slow, steady, hit your home runs on the side. And number 12, money. The whole goal of setting up all your money and all this is to get financial freedom. But being financially free will not automatically make you happy. Okay? Happiness is a separate thing. Financial freedom is strictly not having to worry about money and finances. But I know plenty of people that are super wealthy that aren't happy people. So just know, if you're in a position of struggling financially, if you're in a position of having anxiety and stress and all the things that money can create in a family situation, just know, just by fixing your financial situation isn't automatically going to make you happy. I know plenty of people that financially, money-wise, either aren't very wealthy or maybe are living paycheck to paycheck because they just don't make a lot of money and they don't understand the ways to get wealthy, but they're perfectly happy. And those are the ones that typically will take some of the things I'm talking about and do them and figure out a way to get themselves really set up financially free. And it's part of the reason why many people who get wealthy never made a lot of money. They're just good and smart and happy, and they make all these smart decisions and they set themselves up mentally to live the life they want to live and go from there. So These 12 rules are very important. There are many other things that we would like to do. We'll make a list of them for you so you can see them in the show notes. But just know this is important stuff that you need to know so that you can win and be happy at the game of money and finance.